Dr. Vikki Petersen here. I wanted to talk with you today about something that's really going to impact your health if you're gluten intolerant. And that is that the FDA, after 4 years of waiting, has finally announced what their proposal is going to be as regards the labeling laws associated with gluten-free foods. As I said, we've been waiting for this for quite some time, and they have announced that this will be finalized by the third quarter of 2012, which might sound a little bit away, but there are some changes that we need in this proposal, and in order to get that implemented, we're going to need your help now. So let me tell you a little bit about the proposal. They are proposing that in order for a food to be labeled gluten-free, it has less than 20 parts per million of gluten, which is a fairly accepted level as being safe. There was research in 2007 that said for celiac sufferers, less than 20 parts per million was a safe level. There are, of course, those, and maybe you're thinking this yourself, that less sounds better. And I completely agree with you. Apparently the stumbling block associated with having less parts per million is that our detection equipment is not accurate below 20. So our detection equipment for food can say if something is just under 20, but not if it's under 10 or under 5 or 0. So enforcing that or trying to say no, only 0 is accepted would put these labeling laws out I don't know how many years, because apparently the technology has not caught up to that. So at this moment, research shows that 20 parts per million is a fairly decent level for most. In Europe, there have been 27 countries that have adopted this 20 parts per million. That becomes official this January 2012, so that's coming up fairly soon. There's the argument that if we were to insist on less than 20 parts per million, then anything imported into the country from Europe would be unable to be labeled gluten-free, which might be a problem. And so those are the problems. So at this point, 20 parts per million is kind of what we're going for, but what we don't want to go for is what the FDA has put in as quote-unquote option 6 in their proposal, and that is they have proposed having not only gluten-free labeling, but low gluten labeling. Now, they have not defined what that would be, but obviously if gluten-free is 20 parts per million, then low gluten would be higher than that. And the problem with that is that what we know is that any gluten is a problem as far as the immune system is concerned. So we feel that just under 20 is not enough to initiate that immune response, but certainly over 20 is. So what is low gluten going to do as far as the label? It's going to confuse consumers, and it's going to cause health problems because people are going to pick low gluten thinking it's no gluten or there's no difference. They're not going to know, and we're going to have problems. So I want to tell you about an organization called the National Foundation for Celiac Awareness. This is a wonderful organization. Their complete goal and purpose in life is to increase awareness of celiac disease and gluten sensitivity. They do an outstanding job. They created a site that's called the number 1 in 133.org. The reason that's significant is that is the estimated incidence of celiac disease, 1 person in 133. So that's how the name of the site got established. And on that site, if you go, and I'm going to show you the exact website in a moment, if you go there, there's a proposal that you can click on, and very simply, very easily, you can write a personal letter to the FDA. You just sort of put your name in, and then it's sent to the FDA. And what this letter is saying, it's urging the FDA to adopt the 20 parts per million, not adopt low gluten, and it's also urging them to stay abreast of new research such that if we find it really should be 10 parts per million, that they will move along with that and adjudicate or make laws that would reflect that change as it occurs. So really asking them to stay current on what we learn about levels of gluten in food. So I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I urge you to do it. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot of things on your plate. I promise you this is quick and easy, and it will really make an impact. So I wrote the website, so onein133.org/proposal. So that will get you to the site exactly. I will put this in the text portion below this video, but sometimes I've noticed YouTube doesn't let you put in websites. So just in case they didn't, I wanted you to see it here, and this is how you get to it. Once again, quick and easy. Please tell others. This is something we really need a grassroots movement on this, because this low gluten labeling would create havoc, a lot of misunderstanding, and a lot of illness, and we don't want that. So I hope you found this informative, and until next time, I wish you very good health.